these teams are looking for. Rise do love to run that Blastoise for Dev, so possibly a first pick option for this team. Now for Talon PH to get rid of the Umbreon, Umbreon is a hard counter to a lot of speedsters, to a lot of Pokemon that want to go for those backline flanks. Mean Look is just nasty. So with that out of the pool, that is going to open up a lot of really quick attackers for that central lane.
Yeah, but now the option, there's quite a vast amount of options here. More will be answered on once they've actually cleared at least the first segment of the draft from both ends. Now this is a big option for Talon BS. They might just be locking in that Blastoise for themselves. Amazing Pokemon. Since it's entering into Pokemon Unite, you have an amazing Unite move that is very, very important to be utilized, especially during the Rayquaza segment here in the game. Now we've seen this being played a lot over here. Crustle. Now, Rock Tomb has been a hot move here, being utilized as Crustle here at week number 3 for the regionals itself. And now also pairing up with the Crustle is going to be the Glaceon.
This is also a deny pick as well, because Talon themselves do love to run that Glaceon as well. But Sync 1 actually going to pivot back to the Venusaur. First one we're going to be seeing today. Pretty interesting choice, because Dylan is also going to be on that Inteleon. So far, the build looks like it might be the Solar Beam build, but he might change his items later on. We're not 100% sure. But the final 2 picks here for Rise, it's going to be that Mimikyu and the Leafeon. So Rise want to play quick. They want to have fast evolving Pokemon, whereas for Talon, they're going to take a little bit of time because they have 3 Pokemon with 3-stage evolutions.
Oh wow, that's going to take a little bit of time for them to actually get online, and given such a situation, Rise is definitely going to be capitalizing this at the early stages of the game. If you see, they have 2 evolutions here from the right side of Rise. They have the Glaceon together with the Leafeon, and once they get online level 4, they're definitely going to be punishing these Pokemons coming out from the side of Talon PH. And it does seem that the draft is complete here, coming up from both ends. We do have one defender coming up from Team Rise here, which is going to be the Crustle up against 2 defenders from Team Talon PH, the Slowbro, together with this Blastoise coming up from the end from Talon PH. Now, this is going to be interesting enough. Now, talking about that Venusaur, right? Since they actually already kind of have 2 defenders from their end, so it's quite safe for him to actually go with Acid Spray together with the Solar Beam. Packs huge amount of damage here, yeah, but if executed well. But knowing that, I don't think Team Rise is going to be giving them quite an opening. Probably they want to catch him in the back end, and they also have to be mindful of the Talon as well, which is going to be sniping from time to time.
Yeah, it could also at the same time be that Giga Drain Solar Beam build. We've seen that quite a lot actually being popularized. For a little bit of recovery, yeah. Not just for the recovery, but also just for the cooldown as well. So it's something to consider. We will take a look later on as these Pokemon level up. But game number 1 is going to begin, ladies and gentlemen. This is the grand final for the Southeast Asia qualifiers for the offline finals. Winner of this match will get the first seed and also the first place prize just for this league stage. Most important thing, though, for these 2 teams, they've qualified. Let's get that seeding and a big chunk of prize money.
Oh, wow. Invasion over here coming on from the side of Team Rise. And it does seem that we do see Xeno here coming from the end, but it does seem a little bit assistant here for Hooper on the Bulbasaur on the side of Talon PH.
Just wanting to make sure there's no harassment.
Yeah, just in case. We just provided a little bit of support, you know, of course amplifying the speed of you clearing out these wild Pokemons at the same time as well. Top lane here with Mimikyu together with the Clefairy, the Squirtle, and the Hooper on the side of Talon PH. I believe aggression-wise, coming on from both ends, highly unlikely that any trade-offs will actually happen unless we do see rotation here coming on from the middle segment Pokemons like the Glaceon or even the Ivysaur from the side of Talon PH. So it's great to actually have this Ivysaur coming in online real fast, as he's able to actually get his main abilities here for himself even before actually getting himself to Venusaur. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is definitely going to be this Glaceon here at the bottom lane, putting in pressure towards Team Talon PH. Waiting for a little bit scoring. Oh, a little bit more. Sobble trying to make escape. Unfortunately, it falls in the hand of this Leafeon. Scoring at level 6. Oh, Solar Blade in the face, but stopping him in his tracks, forcing that eject. But Leafeon is ready on standby with that Leaf Blade, just in case you actually utilize that well. A little bit more. Was not able to actually catch the Hooper as well right here, Danale.
Look, Rise are ready to fight. They already said from the get-go, from the draft, we know you have multiple evolutionary Pokemon. So what we're going to do, we're going to capitalize on that early game whilst you're still weak. We're going to beat you down before you ever have a chance of really fighting into us, because the early game is where Rise is really going to benefit in these fights. Now we are at the 8-minute mark. We've got the spawns in the central lane, and I think most of it is going to go in the way of Rise. Talon not really in a position to attack this at all because they're dealing with a Crustle.
Yeah. That's not going to be an easy thing, so it's going to be time consuming as well. It's quite durable. Meanwhile, here at the bottom lane, they do find this Slowbro, but I don't think they actually have the damage to go from it. But saying, try to send them back as well. They are going to be losing one here at the bottom lane.
This Sobble is level 4 flavor. This is a really tough game, unfortunately, for Dylan. Now, let's be realistic. Dylan, in his previous games, has had a relatively safe lane, was uncontested. Now, Rise, realizing the importance of Dylan, putting so much pressure on him. Now, I'm kind of wondering what's going to be the contingency plan here for Talon. Is Sync 1 going to be enough? Great body blocks from that Slowbro just to make sure that Venusaur does not get KO'd. But are they going to lose that Slowbro as well? RBX, no! Cut down with that Solar Blade.
Well, coming
Rise.
close to...
They're rising fast.
Oh, they're definitely rising fast right here. Danny almost coming in close to the goalpost, trying to grab a little bit shield for himself, was not able to actually do so here. But this is definitely what Team Rise need to get here at these early stages of the game, because they know that they actually have the advantage here by playing in the early segments of the game. Now, we do have the Blastoise from the top lane. It's already a Venusaur already coming out from Team Talon PH. Meanwhile, Mimikyu getting cleared off here in the hands of the Blastoise, but they are chasing it down here with a huge Solar Blade coming from behind. Now, Rock 2 closing on the path for his own teammates as well, so they're not able to continue a pursuit here on the Clefable. They know he's here. Now, not really a good place to be, holding up in the position using Telekinesis. Solar Beam, and then they follow him a little bit. Now, but he's going to be taken down by the boost attack coming out from the Venusaur. Rock 2 once again stopping in the tracks, but Slowbro is able to actually do a little bit of scoring here in the face of Team Rise. What's going to happen? Solar Blade has to utilize that, but it's going to be enough, saving the Venusaur away back to the Pokemon Center, but he's going to be returned back using the jump from the base. Meanwhile, things are not done here, Natalie. SLT saying no, but the Glaceon, additional damage hitting off on the
Spears.
This time, it's going to be the Slowbro. Gets cleared out in the hands of Team Rise.
These fights have been so cleanly executed by Rise. Their positioning, we saw multiple times that the fact that Axq's able to get those final last hits, Eeyore ejecting into an aggressive position so that Talon can't body block those Icicle Spears. Talon are slowly losing control of this game, and Rise, if they can keep this up, they will build up a very big extended lead and leave Dylan behind. Dylan is slowly catching up, however. He's level 9 on that Inteleon, and the game is not over yet. We haven't seen any big unites connecting for Talon PH, but if things keep going like this, it could be pretty disastrous, as 3 Pokemon have been KO'd on Talon. They just can't keep up with all this pressure.
I think they need to regroup back and rethink on how they want to approach these team fights. Because
they need to regroup, yes.
They need to regroup, most definitely, because if they keep throwing themselves, Typhoon is over there, but there's no follow-up. It's just a safety Typhoon to actually prevent himself together with the Slowbro getting picked off here in the hands of Team Rise. Now, no Typhoon for a set period of time. So knowing this, Team Rise, they are in good hands to approach this Reggie Lucky at the top lane, and he's going to be securing even commit with the Unite as well, but will be taken down in hands of the Mimikyu at the top lane. Meanwhile, we do see the screening coming on from this Crustle. Putting him in place is going to be the Slowbro together with the Telekinesis, but there's no follow-up from the teammates. But Hoopa did manage to actually send his teammates together with himself back to Pokemon Center, and they're going to be coming back fresh new cuts over here, but things are not over yet.
They can't get KY.
They don't even have enough damage over here. Still chasing down on the Crustle, and he decided that, you know what? You know what? Go back home.
Good stuff coming in from Talon. KY just dancing all around those Rise supports. Dev, though, is on the run. This Mimikyu's trying his best, but it looks like his Shadow Sneak can't connect onto anything. He's trying his best. He's juking everything, but the boosted from the Slowbro will finally end him in his tracks.
I thought he was going to enter the goalpost to try to get a little bit of shields. But then again, I'm guessing that he was also trying to juke the snipe shots coming out from Inteleon at the same time as well. But bottom lane, Danny, things are going to looking interesting here with the Reggie steal.
Yeah, so Rise, unfortunately, they're going to give that bottom objective away because the team is just not in position to contest at all. But are they looking to go for that wraparound? Because both of the attackers on Talon, the Leafeon and that Glaceon, they are in that central lane. It looks like they're just going to recover, get their experience, and get ready to go, because we are looking at a pretty big lead here on the side of Rise. 13 for AXQ, 11, now 12 on both the Glaceon and that Mimikyu. I think Rise, they're just trying to make sure that they can get as big as they possibly can and then continue on with all of this pressure that they're applying on Talon PH. Because so far, the fact that they've not given them any room to breathe, Talon have not been able to have any bit of quiet time to just focus on farming those wild Pokemon, getting their levels and getting ready for that last 2-minute stretch. We've got 1 minute to go before we are going to be seeing Rayquaza pop up and potentially the end of that game. Rise cannot afford to fumble now because, again, they're still running this early game lineup. They're still not in the clear. All it takes is one team fight to end it for Rise.
Yeah, that's true. And when we're talking about team fight, Talon PH has a lot to offer. They have the Venusaur, they even have the Blastoise as well. There's some sniping action coming on from the Talon. So how is Team Rise going to be approaching this next segment of the match, which is going to be happening in the next 25 seconds? It is going to be Rayquaza appearing here at the central area of this stadium. Now, it's a little bit quiet, I would say, because both teams, they know they need a little bit of space to clear out some of the wild Pokemons. Meanwhile, Team Rise has their hands a little bit full.
Look at all the wild Pokemon Rise have access to. There are so many they can try and quickly get rid of, but look, 3 seconds to go. It's time to get into position. Now, the thing is, Regieleki did go into that top goal zone, but Talon have nobody in position to go for an aggressive score. And Talon are still behind on points. But we're looking at a potential flank here. AXQ sitting towards the southern side of that map there. Illuna is at half health. Oh, that Solar Beam getting rid of that Crustal. They will also just go for the reset there onto RBX, and now it's go time here for Talon PH. They're going to flush out Rise, start attacking that Rayquaza. It's time to go, and Eeyore is going to be throwing in all those Icicle Spears, but all it took was a Slow Beam. Leafeon, though, Emerald Step doesn't even finish its animation, and Rise have fallen with 3 Pokemon. We're down to Crustal as well as Dev. Can this Mimikyu make for some magic happen? That might actually be the case. They do get the telekinesis, but Dev, this Mimikyu is on a rampage!
Oh, chasing out, going to go with the end, but going on the surf. Going to extend a little bit of time on his life over there, but no, you're not going anywhere, as the Rock Flea is going to be blocking up your path and making the 4 KO streak in the hands of Mimikyu here at the central area, giving a lot of opportunity for the remaining team members of Team Rise to come back into this team fight. They have all their team members here. 15 seconds on the clock here for the Blastoise for Team Talon PH.
Dylan.
But nobody has any unite at this current moment right now. And the one securing the last hit on the Rayquaza will be the Leafeon over here, and they need to go for a little bit scoring for the end. They are currently in the lead with an extra of 18 points at the current moment, and it does not seem like Talon PH members are in position to do any form of scoring to the side of Team Rise.
Dev, MVP, came in, cleanup crew with Illuna, saving the game for Rise. That Mimikyu, I have never seen this Pokemon do so much work in such a critical situation for the Indonesian squad. Talon PH, they've got to be scratching their heads thinking, what have we done? We have let this Mimikyu go absolutely ham and crush us during this Game 1 fight that should have been ours.
They had it in the bag. Let's put it this way. They had it in the bag. And
they did.
And they lost the bag.
They lost the Mimikyu.
Oh man, that Mimikyu.
Everything looked like it was collapsing for Rise, right? Because we saw Illuna got clipped, and Zoe also got caught in the fire, right? Illuna down, Zoe was half. Dev and Eeyore and AXQ had to go. Eeyore was the first to fall because he got caught with that slow beam. Then AXQ came in. Emerald two-stepped. He was literally mid-air as he got KO'd. And then we saw the little tiny Mimikyu come in. Illuna came in a little bit later. That Mimikyu.
They're making a statement. They're making a statement.
This is when you know a team is absolutely tilted by a single Pokemon.
Oh man, Dev, if you're seeing this after you're done,
he's gonna see him. He's gonna laugh. 100%. He's sitting in draft. He's gonna see the band. He's laughing.
Respect
Yes.
over here. And of course, I'm Brown Bengban. I'm on the side of Team Rise, giving the opportunity to Talon PH to begin with their first pick. Not what will be the opening over here. We've seen Hoopa openings. We've seen Clefable openings. I think the Game 1 was Clefable.
Yes.
Yes, it was Clefable opening. But that was from Team Rise.
And it looks like they're going to get the Buzzwole here for LeBron. So LeBron happy. This is a great Pokemon for him. He specializes in this. It's also going to discourage Rise from picking that Blastoise if Dev does decide to play that, because of course Mimikyu is now off the table for him. And looks like for Rise, Clefable for Rise and the Glaceon. So 2 Pokemon these players are very comfortable with. Talon PH though, next 2 picks. We've got Dylan and KY highlighted. I'm happy for KY to just go for Hooper again. I think the team does really well with KY on that Hooper, and RBX going for that Crustle, so they got to deny that from Aluna. Huge respect.
Yeah, huge respect right there. I think this is also another way for you to actually deny Pokemon, not through the Manning phase. Now, Team Rise.
Is Dev playing with us?
Now, the thing is, quite interesting enough, they might be securing themselves this.
Ooh.
Oh, a weekly tough.
Okay, this is different. So this is Aluna picking the Wigglytuff, and there's a lot of synergy already with this composition. Let's just look at what Talon PH have, and then we can do a breakdown of Rise. Dylan, Pikachu, great. Dylan's played a great Pikachu in the past. I'm totally okay with this. And Sync1 is going to go back onto the Venusaur. Is Dev really playing Absol?
No. I think Aluna was also hovering an Absol earlier on as well.
No, it was Dev, but then Aluna picked.
But now, I don't think so.
Lucario. That makes more sense. Okay, so some people are going to be wondering, what is up with this Wigglytuff for Iluna? So, synergistically, Wigglytuff actually works really well with both Glaceon as well as the Alola Ninetales. Now, I'm kind of curious to know what the build is, if it's going to be Sing or Rollout. If it's Sing, you have the special defense reduction that's applied on 2 slept targets. That means Eeyore and Axew are both going to be doing much more damage than they usually would, meaning that Talon PH, RBX is going to be softened, LeBron's going to be softened, anyone caught in that sleep is going to be softened.
Anyone who's already soft will be even further softened.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough to go into Eeyore and Axew, and you're also threatening Pokemon with that Sing, because if, for example, Buzzwole decides to jump onto Iluna,
and you get Sing,
if you get slept and sung, you're setting up for Eeyore and Axew to just finish you off.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt really, really bad, knowing that it's going to be a Buzzwole, because being basic and all-rounder, you don't have, you don't really specialize on durability. You're kind of like in the middle, somewhere along that, and that's not going to be good, I would say. But the damage-wise, that, in addition together with Lucario as well, if that's not going to be enough, we also have the Lucario.
All right, let's go Iluna. Now, I do also want to mention that Iluna has played Wigglytuff in the past. This is not the first time this roster has revealed this Pokemon. I believe he actually played some of it at ACL last year. So this is a Pokemon that Iluna is very familiar with. I have to say, very brave to bring it out here in the Grand Final, but with 1 game advantage, maybe they're thinking like, hey, if we mess up here, we kind of have 1 more game to go. Again, still risky, but you've got to be confident enough to suddenly pull out a very unorthodox Pokemon.
Yeah, and we also have to give props to them as well, because I believe that they do have a plan at hand, and this is not just some random pickings for them. They know what they're doing here in the finals itself. Well, first, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the game straight with the draft that they have actually brought in from that drafting phase. The lanes are as follows. Of course, they're going to give it a little bit of space for the Bulbasaur to be in the central area, or the wild Pokemon area, to actually get a little bit levels, to become an Ivysaur, and do a little bit of rotations. Meanwhile, here in the top lane, Quan and Fortune Lucario here getting picked off in the hands of this Buzzwole, bringing in all the action here for Talon PH. Team Rise at the current moment, basically a little bit behind, just a little bit behind, I would say, in terms of points compared to what Team Talon PH has to offer.
Oh, Icy Wind this time on Eeyore, so he's going to be going for a little bit of mobility and that burst damage as well. Going to be synergizing very well with Iluna, but again, we will have to wait until later on to see what he's going to be going for that build. But they do trigger the passive on Eeyore, and they get the latch. LeBron getting a big KO there for the team. Central laner gone for Rise, and it's just a Lucario. There's not really much Dev can do here, unfortunately. They will get a little bit of a push there back onto LeBron, but you've got a Hooper. They're going to be able to reset. This is not the start Rise is looking for.
Oh, that was brutal with that entry coming off of the Buzzwole, trying to also have a little bit of displacement of team members from Team Rise. It's very hard for you to actually commit and actually do any form of saving when it's actually behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, here at top lane, Lucario tries to make an escape as he's getting chased down by the Buzzwole together with the Hooper, but Buzzwole is going to be taking him down here at the central area. A little bit too much to handle, I would say.
It's a lot, actually, because just for Dev, he wants to stack, but if he's getting KO'd for every single stack, it's just not efficient. Although LeBron is alone here, we do have some support coming in.
No.
Hooper, he is there, and will actually stun them up and keep LeBron okay. And actually, Venusaur even going to be revealing himself with the Solar Beam, so that will send them back. Clefable in the meantime, though, going to be chased and will be taken down by Dylan. Great stuff by that Pikachu, and it looks like it will be the sleep on this Wigglytuff, so the special defense reduction is going to kick in. But yeah, if you're caught in the Rock Tomb, you don't really have anywhere else to go.
I mean, you did manage to actually reduce or increase the magic damage being dispatched out by your teammates, but if your teammates are not able to actually execute any of that as well, then there's no point to it at the same time as well. And you wouldn't want any form of trade-off to actually happen because it's very, very risky.
Oh, XQ! Oh, that was very scary. Luckily, the follow-up wasn't quite there for Talon PH. The Alolan Ninetales very exposed. Got to be so careful of RBX's Rock Tombs. This Crustle has been a massive player for both teams in reality. All right, Iluna, there's another Rock Tomb. That's another setup. This Crustle pick, whoever seems to get the Crustle seems to have a really great day. And it looks like down bottom, free objective here for Talon PH. Riser up top instead, looking to try and maybe go for Reggie Alecki instead, but having to deal with a Buzzwole. And it looks like Buzzwole actually gets a KO onto that Clefable. Even Rise is struggling in both lanes, unfortunately. And hold on a minute, interesting build for Iluna. He's gone for Dazzling Gleam and Sing.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be something else right now. Now, Rise did not used to be on the back foot. They were actually at the front in game number 1. This game 2 is going to be a little bit different. Now, can they hold is how what the Talon PH had to endure going up in the previous game. So we'll see how things goes. But at the current moment, with the highest level is level 10 on the Venusaur together with the Buzzwole.
Such big leads.
It's such big leads. Yeah, such big leads. Now, Rise needs to do a little bit of catching. Once again, now even with, now the Sing is over there, but there's no follow-up coming from team members from Team Rise. Meanwhile, we're still going over the chase. He's going to be Lucario. But then he got left out by his teammates. He was over-committed. I believe that there should be a miscomm coming on from Team Rise.
Might have been trying to push away from his team as well, so they don't go after both of the supports. But we do have a bit of a group up here from Talon PH, maybe looking for a double KO. They can't quite get LeBron. They will finish him off with that Wigglytuff. The Crustle, though, has popped the Unite, is sitting on a ton of shields. But wait a minute, RBX now going to be caught there by XQ. This Crustle trying to get out with the X-Scissor. Will get just enough distance to get out. And this Clefable trying to heal up with that Moonlight. No more casualties in this battle. But again, Rise is just not comfortable fighting into Talon PH. Too much crowd control, too many ways for Talon to catch them.
Now, a little bit too hard for them to handle at the same time as well. It's been proven from time to time, and they need to figure out fast on how they want to handle what Team Talon PH is bringing to the table over here. If not, they're going to keep snowballing further and further. And we're already halfway through the match here as we're into the 5-minute mark. Reggie Alecki here at the top lane. It does seem that team members of Talon PH is committed, trying to push the Reggie Alecki to the inside, but instead they're pushing it to the bottom, fighting up against these two team members. Instead, it's going to be 3 coming on from Team Rise, but by the looks of it, they managed to get their hands on this Wigglytuff, but the trade-off, they're going to be losing out here on the Crustle. What's going to be the fall from behind as well?
Oh, the eject!
Oh, low HP from this Buzzwole, but backing him down to the behind as well, and securing down. It is going to be a mano trade-off, the Wigglytuff for this Buzzwole.
Yeah, very close matchup there for both of the teams. It could have gone either way, but they do tie it up. But I think that the trade side, I'd say it's pretty good there for Rise. You'd rather get the Buzzwole. Wigglytuff not as big of a Pokemon as that Buzzwole. A 3-level gap between those
3-level gap. Yeah, but actually it was actually the Clefable. It wasn't actually the Duff over there.
They're both the same level.
Yeah, both the same level.
Yeah, it's a pink Pokemon, so they're both the same.
Okay, apologies for this. Oh, but the damage output is going to be enough over here. They're going to be getting the Regis, amplifying their healing factors here in the game for Team Talon PH. Currently in the lead, 200 to 77 at this point on, and we're just 1 minute and 40 seconds away before Rayquaza actually appears here on the central area. And as usual, this is the calm before the storm.
The calm before the storm, and also the EXP distribution between these two teams is pretty interesting. So Rise is funneling all of their experience into Eeyore, who's level 13, but Talon PH, they are spreading this between both the Venusaur and the Buzzwole. So understanding that both of these teams, they have different late game Pokemon. Yes, AXQ is going to want to get that experience as well, but I think at this point of time, Eeyore has been the more reliable attacker for the team. Is able to bounce around in these fights. If he's able to get the burst off and can synergize with Iluna, that actually might be the win condition here for Rise. But for Talon PH, though, they want to brawl. All they have to do is catch Rise with a Rock Tomb, with a Thunderbolt, heck, even just with the Buzzball. Any kind of catch, pop those Pokemon, and you should just be good to go in those team fights. Because I think, if anything, numbers advantage is going to heavily sway in favor of Talon PH if they can just eliminate any of Rise's Pokemon.
Yep, and you just keep snowballing from there. If you actually got one, then you keep catching another. And of that, as long as you can actually have really good follow-up, especially from the Buzzwole, it will be an amazing clean game coming up from their end here on out. And what we look at on the side of Team Rise, now we have not seen much here coming up from this Lucario at this point into the game as well. Now they will be forced into a point where it has to be a 5v5 engagement at the Rayquaza pit. So basically we're just 10 seconds away for Rayquaza appearing, and we'll see how things will be. And of course on the front lines from side Talon PH is definitely going to be the Scross over here, who's going to be a nuisance. He has the ability not only to screen the team members from Team Rise in certain locations, but at the same time as well, screening team members from Team Rise away from each other as well, which could also be potentially be very, very fatal for them. Yeah. Now, also, we look at this Wigglytuff as well. It's very hard for him to actually make an entry, as you need to be on close range to actually perform Sing, and with the follow-ups coming from Alolan Ninetales together with the Glaceon.
Yeah, and Dev is actually trying to farm up as much experience as possible. Now level 13, is this maybe the time for Rise to engage into Talon PH?
Stuck. Oh man, this is kind of tough. Lucario engaging up. Is this really the play? But they're really low in HP. Tried to commit a little bit.
Luna's isolated. Actually has to go for the Unite as well. Does survive just with the shields, but that's not going to be available anymore. Was ideally hoping to use that for the team. Oh, Rise, with one Unite down, this fight has now turned into a very slow waltz. They have to make sure they take the correct steps if they're hoping to get a 2-0. But for Talon, Talon needs to go on the defense. Make sure Rayquaza is not an option for Rise, and make sure you cut Rise down, force that game number 3. Can RBX get the Rock Tomb of his life?
Oh man, this will be answered in a few short moments over here. Meanwhile, here comes engagement. Solar Beam not able to connect here, coming up from the Venusaur. There's a huge Rock Tomb being shut out here, hitting off on 4 units from Team Rise, going over Chase, taking up out with the Unbound here for the Hooper, chasing up behind the damage. They managed to actually get on the Glaceon together with the Wigglytuff, and they're getting yet another. It's going to be the here at the same time as well, together with the Clefable. That's a 4-man out, making it a 5v1 situation here, siding towards Team Talon PH. Team Rise is in trouble. Now, instead of going to Rayquaza, you know what? We can actually go for
down
scores.
Bottom? Can we stop it? No, the Wigglytuff. Wait, Iluna's not jumping?
Yep, they're not jumping here.
Okay, so they probably, so I guess at that point they probably just think, all right, guys, game, unfortunately, is dropped. Yep. We are going to a game number 3. But Flavor, we've got to talk about what's happened in that late game, because I actually think a number of unfortunate circumstances really kicked Rise in the shins. And one of them was called Rayquaza.
Okay.
Did you see that whirlwind?
Yes, the whirlwind.
That caught Rise and set up for Talon PH. We know which side Rayquaza was on this game.
They paid Rayquaza to become their 6th member here in this game. But I want to highlight this. RBX, please.
No, it's not just RBX. Crustle.
Crustle. Do not. It's insane what a Crustle can do. He did so much. There was a time when he actually caught 4 of the Pokemons from Team Rise, and they were like, you know what, guys, we're stuck. We can't. I really want to commit my eject right now, and they were stuck in one corner in the top right segment. And then after that, one more Rock Tomb, and then they separated like the 4 team members. 1 was going down, 1 was going right, and 2 at the top area. Like, that's how much damage a simple Rock Tomb can do to your opponents.
Yeah. So I think what happened with Rise as well is that, just again, looking at the composition here, was hoping to dominate the early game. They saw a couple Pokemon that they were sort of keeping an eye on, right? They were hoping that they would actually be able to beat Dylan in that bottom lane with Axew, and also slow down the progress there for Sync 1, but Dev, horrible lane this game. He could not get stacks off. We saw him get 2 stacks KO'd both times by LeBron. Axew really didn't find any openings to be able to do anything for his team, because they're not running a traditional defender. They're running a Wigglytuff. They didn't have anybody that could probably... You're limiting what Lucario can do. So what is Rise going to do? Do they solidify Dev's pick first? Are they going to prioritize Zoe again because Clefable has been his choice of Pokemon for support?
And it's open as well. Since
It is
it's
open.
Going,
And
yep,
yes, so
yes, they're
Clefable
going
again.
Clefable. Yeah, it's the first pick. Still a lot of openings here since they banned the Umbreon. Hoopa is still available in the mix as a support.
Oh,
No, not again.
With the Crustle.
No.
Okay, no. Stacking, so if he can't stack, Blaine, he couldn't do anything on Lucario. Now, this is also an issue with Lucario as well as a Pokemon because this Pokemon does require some kind of resources in the form of stacking. So if he can't stack, you're limiting what Lucario can do. So what is Rise going to do? Do they solidify Dev's pick first? Are they going to prioritize Zoe again because Clefable has been his choice of Pokemon for support?
And it's open as well. Since
It is
it's
open.
Going,
And
yep,
yes, so
they're
Clefable
going
again.
Clefable. Yeah, it's the first pick. Still a lot of openings here since they banned the Umbreon. Hoopa is still available in the mix as a support.
Oh,
No, not again.
With the Crustle.
No.
Okay, no. I actually think Rise must have a plan for this. They must have a plan for this Crustle. And the respect pick, getting Eeyore's Glaceon.
Okay.
That's a respect pick right there.
Okay.
And Dev, he
now,
gets the Mimikyu.
We saw this happening. Now, so they have not. This is going to be quite a problem from Team Rise. They need to figure out ways on how to handle this Crustle. And Rise, they got their hands on the Mimikyu.
Yes.
So.
And what is the next two choices going to be here for Talon PH? So KY, Hooper, it's one of his best supports.
Yeah, he can just pick it off here.
And
I mean, like,
LeBron is going to get Blastoise. So the top matchup is going to be Mimikyu and Blastoise, which Dev did all right, actually, in that previous game. So it should be all right. He's got great supports to back him up. And Axeq has gone back thinking, do I want the Pikachu? Do I want the Inteleon? He's flicking between the two. He's not sure. And looks like Eeyore is going to be going back to his signature Pokemon, the one that put him on the map last year for Pokemon Unite, his Dodrio.
oh wow,
Pikachu.
I still remember him actually running this Dodrio. It was insane.
So that means Inteleon is left in the pool here for Dylan, but does Dylan want to play Inteleon? Because that means if he plays Inteleon, he has to deal with a Pikachu in that bottom lane.
Oh yes. Now this leaves a little bit of room for Team Talon BH to try to find the last one.
They're thinking, is it Inteleon? Is it Ninetales? It's going to be the Ninetales for Dylan.
I think they have really good sets over here. So initiations coming on from the Blastoise together with the Crustle. So I guess for setup, you can actually just have Lula Ninetales over there. Yeah, so at least you're not required to actually do any form of sniping since everybody's already in place. You have the Rock Tomb, you have the Blastoise. So yeah, I think it's definitely looking solid come from Team Talon PH. Rise also
Talon's
not
team fight scary, man.
very scary, very scary.
Lots
now,
of AoE, so much catch.
if you make a mistake over here, like if the Mimikyu overextends, basically you have to make a point of entry, right? Dodrio as well. If you manage to catch Mimikyu and Dodrio and set up a really nice team fight, Talon PH should have this in the bag.
Yeah, I actually think so. I really fear sometimes for Rise's team comps because back in the day, they used to actually draft something, not like this on Talon, but they would have a draft that was easier to execute. You know, you had a couple Pokemon where it's like you press a button and they have some kind of AoE crowd control that Eeyore and Axeq can capitalize. But you're looking at this composition here, right? This is a very technical comp. Yes, you've got a great supporter in Clefable to keep you topped up, but you have so little room for error running this Mimikyu, this Pikachu, and this Dodrio.
Yeah,
if they get caught, they're just gone. You don't have a backup. You don't have a save mechanism. You're not running a Blissey, right? You don't have something like a Bliss Assist that can come in to give you that second life.
I'm also concerned that they have to rely a lot on the slow roll to do wonders here on the front line.
Magic. He has to perform
like
magic.
Legit, like if Talon BH figures out ways on how to clear out the slow roll, and that's it, you don't have your frontliner for anything that you want to execute on. So basically, you end up with the Dodrio who can actually do pokings with hope that poking and the damage output is enough to actually go in for a takedown, rather than just giving space for your opponents to actually make any form of escape. So top lane here, we know very quick one is gonna be a Crustle already.
It's actually,
here.
by the way, it's a LeBron Crustle. It's not RBX. RBX is on the Squirtle.
Oh, so they swapped. I mean, as long as it's a menacing Crustle, I guess they don't mind it. Probably.
Interesting choice, to be honest.
Interesting choice.
But I guess they wanted the better matchup for this top lane. But yeah, this is not looking too hot here for Talon PH. Luckily for LeBron, though, he does generate a lot of shield, so it does negate a lot of the damage there from Ryze. If they need to, they can potentially reset. But look at this, though. Eeyore coming a little bit too deep, does get stunned. Even blinking forward the eject button.
Oh, that was a full commitment over there. Even the Crossel committing with the eject over there. Oh, that's going to be tough. Dodrio gets cleared out here in the early stages of the game, giving opportunities for team members on Talon PH to Crossel to get the Glaceon to actually do a little bit of scoring upon Team Rise's
that's also, I have to say, that's also respect from Talon PH, right? Because you are investing a lot of resources to guarantee the KO on a Pokemon such as Dodrio. They realize that
it's worth it.
It's worth it, but also it impacts Eeyore, right? Because Eeyore is a very snowbally player. He loves to work on momentum. If he's able to get it, he really runs away with it, quite literally. And look at this. We're getting another punishing play, denying Dev any chance to farm in this top lane. So look at this. LeBron is on fire up here, just constantly scoring.
And I don't think this is something that you would want to allow this Crossel to actually do in the game. And you know how menacing it could be. Meanwhile, we're looking at the top in the middle segment over here. Things are not looking so well. The damage being down. I don't think Slowbro has enough to handle over there. Even with all those shields patching through his life, is going to go down all the way. He's going to get knocked out here. More opportunities for Team Talon PH to do more scoring here at the bottom late, Danny.
Talon are snowballing themselves. They are on fire. Now, the thing is, Leb did go down in that top lane, but look at this, though. Hyperspace Hole, they bring the whole team. They say, oh, you want our crap? I think we want you this time. They take out Dev. They don't get the Clefable, but, I mean, I think they're happy just to get that Mimikyu and just score in that top lane. But by goal zone, more points, more experience. Talon, they're going for the sprint. They're not going for the marathon.
So from top lane to bottom lane to top lane again, Talon PH, somebody stop them right now. And
that's supposed to be Ryze.
Yeah, supposed to be Ryze. And they're the only ones who can actually do it anyways here. But if you see the level gap, at least it's one level up from each Pokemon. Level 9 now on the Glaceon and as well as Dodrio on the side for Team Ryze. And they're going to commit here on the Regice. We do this entry coming off from the Clefable, Moonlight, utilize
the surf!
Well, the damage is not able to cover as well. Clefable to get the Dodrio will be taken down as well. And Pikachu, that's going to be a 3-man down. 4-man down come from Team Ryze, leaving Mimikyu to be the only person here is currently at the top lane, surviving this particular engagement at the Regice segment in the bottom lane.
Leb isn't the only one on the team that can play that Blastoise. RBX with the perfect surf connecting onto Ryze, and they tried to go for that engagement. Look, Ryze are losing this game. 60 points compared to the 247. Now, here's the thing, though. Talon, they can't afford to give away these stray KOs as well. They need to respect Ryze because this is a team that gets incredibly hungry when they start to fall behind. So Talon PH, they've got to stabilize. We're actually getting 2 KOs here. So first it was Leb. Now it's going to be the Hoop, but KY set back to base for the next 5 seconds. And now this bottom lane, look at this Ryze. They're amping it up. Talon PH, they slowed it down a little bit. Are they going to get punished? Here comes that Crustle. LeBron, he's hungry, but he can't connect onto them.
Yeah, because he's not able to actually get in position to any form of connection over here. And it's together with the Blastoise anyway. So I guess it's a 2v2 situation. They don't have to overcommit anything. Just screen them out, and then they're just good to go and continue on with the wild Pokemons. Now, this gave them a little bit of room to actually clear out Regieleki at the top lane. And Regice appearing as well for their end. Now clearing out this Altera and Swablu family at the top lane. And they are going to be joining this entourage together with Regieleki at the top lane, marching forward.
It's a full push.
It's a full push coming from them. They are committed, but what's going to be the play over here as well? Unice to be utilized here coming up from the Glaceon as well together with Hydro Typhoon. But where's the follow-up coming on from the team members of Team Talon PH? They are able to connect here. They managed to get their hands on Clefable, the Dodrio together with the Mimikyu, living out this Slowbro over here, which is also going to be taken down as well. Leaving Pikachu to be the only one trying to defend this top lane, even though the body being thrown over here. It's not going to be able to do much over here. Dodrio low in HP at the same time as well. It might just make it out once again. It is a comeback here, takedown coming on from the side of Team Talon PH. Team Ryze, they did manage to get the 3 members from Team Talon PH, but they are trying to pursue even further right now, and they do manage to get the Crustle as well. I do guess this is better rather than not getting anyone at all.
Slow beam?
Oh, is even here? Oh, Blastoise tries to make an escape of here. Managed to grab himself with the berry. Now, this is going to be the counter attack coming out from Talonfish, forcing up the eject on the Clefable and making their way away. And Mimikyu gets caught here in the hands of Glaceon.
Oh gosh, this is so chaotic. We're looking at two-pronged attacks here as now the Dodrio is being chased by a Blastoise and a Hooper. Talon PH are dead set on ending Eeyore's scoring streak in that bottom lane. Is not able to break the goal zone, but he is very wounded and will have to go back to heal up. Talon PH, I think they're realizing that Rise, if they let them go just for a few minutes, Rise are going to come out of the bushes. They will ambush them. They will try to catch up with a few surprise fights. Now, the thing is, LeBron, as great of a player as he is playing Crustle. So as this game goes on, he's going to turn into a utility Pokemon. He is purely there for the X as a disable because he's running Shell Smash.
Yep.
He can actually potentially go for back caps because he's running that Shell Smash. But hang on a minute, though. We do have a Regieleki contestant here. We do bring multiple Pokemon. We do have the Alola Ninetales in position to go for a wonderful Avalanche combo. The Glaceon connecting onto Slowbro. He is healing up though so far, but hang on a minute, Death goes down. Too many Icicle Spears connecting onto that Mimikyu. But where is the rest of the team? Eeyore is actually still on the other side of the map. They're gonna give away this Regieleki at the 3-minute mark. Oh, they're going for a score down bottom, but they're actually going to stop them.
No, the Blastoise actually stopped them using the Surf. He actually saw that the Dodrio was actually trying to connect them from behind. So I guess both of them were not able to actually do any form of scoring here from Team Rise. Talon PH, solid defense coming up from the hand. They still have all their goalposts. Meanwhile, Team Rise have already lost the bottom and top. They already lost 2 of them already. And now to add on more salt to the wound, securing the Registeel, amplifying with the buff, the attack on the special attack, getting this Registeel at the bottom lane in the hands of Glaceon.
It's going to come down to this late game here because Rise, they're on the back foot with points, so they are the ones that have to fight into Talon PH to get that Rayquaza. Beautiful play coming in from the Clefable, not getting caught there by RBX's Surf at all, and even scolding him just to scout him out. Level 12 on that Blastoise. We are looking at a big lead so far for Talon PH when it comes to levels, but we have seen what's happened. One misstep, and you can catch up, especially if you catch a core Pokemon at such a high level. Glaceon at 14. This will be a primary target for Rise if they can get the KO. But again, it's going to come down to positioning. And for Rise, they're going to try and flush Talon out. They are poking this Rayquaza. They have this Pikachu, slowly whittling him down, ready to throw the Thunder, and that Thunderbolt if ready. Unites are ready to go as well, and actually we do see a bit of a kerfuffle on the right side of that Rayquaza pit, but the reset is there. Slowbro is in front, Luna tanking for that team, but no commitments yet.
Yeah, of course, because you're going to Dodrio trying to get himself. Triple hitting off on here. They do manage to actually get one of here. It's going to be alone in Ninetales, but Hydro Typhoon hitting off on 3. Mimikyu getting 2 KO streak as well as he actually got himself on that Hooper over here, making the 5v3 situation. They're chasing down the Blastoise as well, making it 3 men down from the side of Talon PH. Is this a comeback that Team Rise is actually looking for? They are going on this Rayquaza. Meanwhile, putting on a little bit of trouble is going to be the
Slow beam on the Glaceon. Glaceon is gone.
Yes, Glaceon, but it gave ample amount of time for this Hooper to actually come back. But then the Crustle is down.
Alola Ninetales coming in from the top. Can he get the snipe in? No! Mimikyu gets the Rayquaza, and now it's now Rise's turn to score their points. They do need 250 points to catch up to Talon PH. They're going to come in as 3 in that bottom lane. They have to break the shields here for Talon PH. They can't afford to let them score here. 259, 359. Talon PH are now behind in points. Another 100 points going in that top lane there. Pikachu scoring. Slowbro scoring. I think this might just be it. Rise with the comeback play. Eeyore with the magical triple trample to set up on Talon PH. How often do you see a 3-man triple trample setup?
Oh, that was beautifully executed over there coming from Irizal. Dodrio making plays and at a very crucial time as well. And that might be the play that will be giving the win here to our Indonesia champions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our champions here for the Pokemon Unite Asia Championship League 2024 Southeast Asia region with the total score for Team Rise. Look at this big spike, 571 to 366 against Team Talon PH, the Filipino champions.
I can barely breathe after that last
They needed to win at that pit, and that is exactly what they did.
All right, so nominations for MVP. I'm just going to say single-handedly because of that last play, Eeyore. Eeyore played a massive role in ensuring Rise had a favorable engage in that last Rayquaza fight.
Yeah, I think that was like, you can't give it to anyone else. After seeing that, he's deserving. He made the win for the team.
There were several things that happened, right? So Eeyore coming in with the triple trample initiation. I also want to give props to Zoe. He did so well protecting Axeq. There were multiple times I saw LeBron trying to gun for Axeq, and Zoe just comes in, follow me, follow me, follow me. And LeBron can't do anything about it because follow me is such an annoying skill because it changes the target, gives Axeq enough distance so that he's able to still help his team in the backlines with the thunders, the thunderstorms, the thunder.